Back now at 9:19. Concussions are starting to become on people's minds a lot more lately because youth football is starting up again in just a matter of weeks. This morning, to talk about concussions and treatment, I'm happy to have back to the show Dr. Mani Sitharama. He joins me from the Hartford Healthcare Rehab Network, one of the foremost experts in concussions. Hey, how are you, sir?
Thank you for having me again.
Good to have you back. Good to have you back because it seems like there's a lot that's always happening in the field of concussions, but I don't want to start too far ahead of it. I'm assuming most people understand, have a basic idea of what concussions are, but I think a lot of them sort of stop short at realizing that it is a traumatic brain injury. You hear that and you think of something worse. What goes into a concussion? What's happening sort of physiologically inside the head? So
basically, as most of you know, it's a hit to the head. It can be indirect, it can be direct, and it triggers a pathophysiological process. What that means is there's a stretch of the nerve fibers, there's damage to the membranes, and bad things happen inside the cell, and good things get out of the cell. Yeah. And we can't detect it. There's no test, there's no MRIs, there's no x-rays. So it's a process. All we have done so far is try to treat patients. We treat the symptoms. I do mainly adolescents, so we're trying to get them back to school more than getting them back to play. But now we are trying to figure out what the pathophysiology is, what is the neurobiology of what is happening, so we have a better handle on who's getting concussions, how can be treated, and when do we know that people are better and they can go back and do all the contact sports that they want to do.
Now, is that going to help sort of evaluating borderline cases because not all concussions are of the same severity?
Absolutely. So we have a tough time figuring out who's got a concussion. So I tell kids, if you have a head hit, get off the field. There has been studies done now that show that if they continue playing, that there is a 40% chance that they're going to have a prolonged symptom scale and they're going to miss school. If they get out, 70% of them recover within 7 days of a concussion. So as you know, this statistic that's always thrown out, 85% of people recover from concussions in 3 to 7 days. Okay. It's that 15% that we are trying to work out, trying to find out who they are and when do they get better and how prevent it.
Right. Well, I imagine erring on the side of more caution is better than erring on the side of less caution. So if you're a parent out there, you have a child playing Pop Warner or Pee Wee, what should you be on the lookout for? We know what a severe concussion is. You get your bell rung, you can't identify fingers in front of your face. But what about the borderline symptoms? What should parents be looking for?
So I'm a big proponent. If you see a head hit, you should pull your child out. You should have the coach pull that child out. Because people say, oh, I feel good, I don't have any symptoms. But I have heard this is the constant story I hear. They get hit in the first quarter, they go back to play. By the time they get in the car and they're going home, they're telling their parents, I have a headache. So there's that delayed period where that symptoms can come in. So I always say, take them out if you see a head hit. Yeah. And that is the most important thing, because you got to give that brain a chance to heal. Once the trigger is on, if they get hit again, there's something called second impact, which I really, really worry about. Yeah. There are trainers in our Hartford Hospital's concussion program that can identify, that can test these kids. These tests are not perfect. We miss about 20 to 25% of these kids who have concussions. Okay. So nothing is 100%, so we have to, like you say, overreact, take these kids out.
Last time I sort of delved into this, I know people were talking big about treatment like this cocoon therapy, just shut off light, shut off sound, try to give the brain a little cocoon in which to heal. Is that still something that's being looked at, or have we moved past that? Is that in effect?
So I'm glad you asked that. So now we have a little bit more of light on this. There was an article that came out in 2012 in the Annals of Pediatrics, and now a couple more articles have come out to justify this. So we know when someone gets hurt, they need to rest, because if they don't rest enough and they get hit, there's going to be problems. They're going to have delayed recovery. But what is that period of time? In the 1940s, apparently the recommendation was bed rest. Bed rest. Okay. We have come a long way now. We know the pathophysiology. So what they're saying now, approximately 72 hours, about 3 days of rest, and then start building in activities, which doesn't mean contact. It means little running. I always tell the kids, do you have a dog? Go for a walk. Very important. These are 15, 16-year-old kids who are got a lot of energy.
Does that include mental rest too, like thinking about hard
Absolutely.
math problems?
Stay off your phone, stay off TV, stay off computers. Don't read, especially if you have vestibular or ocular issues. Yes. So the 3 days of really good rest is which is what we recommend in our clinic.
Okay, Dr. Sitharama, we're almost out of time, but there's a clinic coming up this Wednesday. Tell us about that.
So we are having a presentation in the Hospital for Special Care from 6 to 7 on Wednesday about concussions, and this is the Hospital for Special Care Concussion Clinic. The unique part about it is Hospital for Special Care is a rehab hospital, and you have everything under the roof. I'm a consultant there at their concussion clinic. They have vestibular therapy. Yeah. They have something called the Bioness Integrated Therapy Systems, which is a new kind of therapy system. We have a very good neuropsychology group there led by Dr. Tim Bellevue, who's one of the top neuropsychologists in concussion in the state. Okay. So we have everything under the same roof. So come and join us for the talk and see what we can offer you there.
And it's going to be from 6 to 7 p.m. There it is again to give you another look, so maybe you can pause the DVR if you need to know, right there on Corbin Avenue in New Britain, again, from 6 to 7 p.m. this Wednesday. Dr. Sitharama, thank you so much for
Thank you for having me.
It's glad to have you. Okay, well, coming up next on Good Day Connecticut, again, back to one of our top stories.